All right, so get this. We're diving into something today that could like completely change how we interact with technology.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine a world where, um, your digital assistant,
Uh-huh.
it not only follows your instructions,
Yeah.
but actually learns from its mistakes
Okay.
and just gets better at tasks all on its own.
Wow.
That's the potential of LLM agents.
It's a really fascinating area of research.
It is.
Like, think about it. We interact with these complex digital environments every day,
Yeah.
right? Coding,
Mm.
browsing the web, managing applications.
Yeah, for sure.
And we do it so intuitively.
Right.
But for LLMs, it's a huge challenge.
Totally. And to really understand how these LLM agents are going, like beyond just chatbots,
Yeah,
we're going to take a deep dive into a new framework
Right.
called Learn by Interact.
I like it.
And it's laid out in this research paper
Huh?
called Learn by Interact, a data-centric framework for self-adaptive agents in realistic environments.
Catchy title.
Right.
Yeah, so the key here is that traditional LLMs, they need massive amounts of labeled data to learn new tasks.
That makes sense.
And it's just not realistic to do that for like every single possible scenario,
Oh, for sure.
So Learn by Interact flips the script
Okay.
and lets these LLM agents learn through their own experiences.
So instead of like spoon-feeding the AI every bit of information,
Yeah.
we're kind of setting it loose in a digital playground
Exactly.
and just letting it like figure things out.
Exactly. The first step is what's called self-instruct techniques.
Okay.
So the LLM agent basically generates its own homework assignments
Interesting.
by drawing from resources like documentation and tutorials.
So it's kind of like coming up with its own curriculum in a way.
Yeah.
Does it just go rogue at that point?
Not quite.
Okay.
So the LLM agent attempts to complete these tasks in a target environment.
Gotcha.
This could be anything from a coding platform to like a simulated web browser.
Interesting.
And as it does this, it creates what the researchers are calling an interaction trajectory, which is basically just a record of every action the agent takes and the feedback that it gets from the environment.
So like a digital trail of its learning journey.
Yeah, I'd like that.
But what happens when it inevitably makes mistakes?
Yeah.
Because, even we humans, we stumble our way through learning new things, right?
Absolutely. And that's where like the real brilliance of Learn by Interact comes in.
Okay.
It's not just about letting the agent explore,
Yeah.
but about what happens after that exploration.
Okay. I'm listening.
That's where backward construction comes into play.
All right. Lay it on me.
So the system analyzes that entire interaction trajectory, looking for successful substeps.
Okay.
But it's also able to go back and like correct misaligned actions. And it essentially creates new instructions that accurately reflect what the LLM actually did.
So it's like the AI is saying, okay, I messed up,
Yeah.
but here's what I actually learned,
Yeah,
and here's how I should have done it.
exactly.
That's why.
It's really cool.
It's almost like it's debugging its own learning process in a way.
Yeah,
So even the mistakes become valuable learning experiences.
right.
That seems like a huge leap forward.
It is.
But I'm guessing there's more to it than just letting the AI run wild
Yeah.
and then clean up the mess afterward, right?
You're right. Not all data is created equal.
Right.
So the Learn by Interact framework also includes some clever filtering techniques
Okay.
to make sure that the data being generated is high quality.
Makes sense.
One way is by just removing actions that are duplicated or meaningless.
Right. We don't want the AI getting bogged down with useless information.
Exactly.
What are the other filtering techniques?
So this one's a bit more complex.
Okay.
They actually use a committee of LLMs to double-check if the instruction trajectory pairs make sense and are coherent.
Okay.
Think of it as like a panel of experts
Gotcha.
reviewing the agent's work and making sure it's on the right track.
So it's like a quality control check
Exactly.
for AI. I'm starting to see how this framework is like really setting these LLM agents up for success.
It is.
But what happens with all this data once it's been cleaned up and deemed worthy?
Yeah,
How does it actually help the LLM learn and improve?
that's a great question, and that's what we'll be diving into when we come back
All right, can't wait.
for part 2.
I'm excited.
Me too. Welcome back.
Yeah, we left off talking about how this Learn by Interact framework
Right.
not only lets these AI agents learn by doing,
Uh-huh.
but also includes these ways to like clean up the data
Yeah.
and make sure it's high quality.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious, like what happens next?
Right.
How is all that data actually put to use
Yeah.
to make the LLM smarter and more capable?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So the synthesized data can be used in a couple of powerful ways.
Okay.
First, it can be used for training.
Okay.
You can fine-tune existing LLM models to become more effective in specific environments based on the data the agent generated.
So it's like taking personalized lessons.
Yeah,
Based on the AI's own experiences.
exactly.
Does this mean that, like, every LLM agent will end up being unique? Kind of like how we humans all have different strengths and weaknesses.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
And it gets to the heart of why this approach is so promising.
Okay.
It allows for this continual learning and adaptation,
Mm-hmm.
which makes LLM agents far more robust and practical for real-world applications.
Right.
The other way this synthesized data can be used is in what's called in-context learning.
In-context learning.
Yeah.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, so this is where the synthesized data provides real-world examples during what's called inference.
Okay.
Essentially, it's like giving the LLM
Huh.
this handy guide to reference when it encounters a new challenge.
Gotcha.
Say the AI is trying to, like, schedule a meeting.
Okay.
In-context learning would provide examples of how it successfully scheduled meetings in the past,
Right.
even if, like, the specifics are slightly different.
Yeah, that makes sense that having relevant examples would be helpful.
Right.
But if these LLM agents are, like, constantly generating data, won't they eventually be swimming in a sea of information?
Yeah.
How do they find the right data
Yeah.
at the right time?
That's where agentic retrieval comes in.
Okay.
It's not just about having a lot of data,
Right.
but it's about having access to the most relevant data when it's needed.
Okay.
The research outlines two main retrieval approaches,
All right.
observation-based and model-based.
Okay, let's break those down a bit.
Sure.
What's the difference?
With observation-based retrieval,
Uh-huh.
the LLM agent essentially looks at its current situation
Okay. Yeah.
and tries to match it with similar situations that it's encountered before.
So it's kind of like saying,
Yeah.
okay, I've seen this before. Let me pull up the playbook from that time.
Exactly.
So it's more of a passive, like, recognition of patterns.
Yeah.
What about model-based retrieval?
Model-based is more active.
Okay.
Here, the LLM actually generates queries based on the specific task, its history, and what it's currently observing.
So it's almost like the AI is thinking strategically about
Yes.
what information would be most useful in this particular moment.
Exactly.
It sounds like model-based retrieval takes things to a whole other level.
It does.
Does this mean that LLM agents using Learn by Interact
Yeah.
are actually capable of problem solving
Yeah.
in a way that's, like, closer to how we think?
Potentially.
And, like, does all this really work?
Right.
Is there, like, evidence that Learn by Interact actually makes LLM agents better at completing tasks?
So the researchers tested Learn by Interact in a range of different tasks and environments.
Okay.
They used software engineering tasks from GitHub issues,
Gotcha.
web interactions like e-commerce and forums, even professional data science workflows.
Wow. So they threw a variety of real-world challenges at these LLM agents.
Yeah, they did.
What happened?
Well, Learn by Interact consistently outperformed baseline LLMs and other agent frameworks across the board.
Interesting.
It seems like this data-driven approach, with its emphasis on learning by doing, adapting, and retrieving relevant information, is really effective.
That's pretty compelling stuff.
It is.
We've been talking a lot about the technical side of Learn by Interact,
Right.
but I'm also curious about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What are the, like, potential real-world implications of this technology?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How could this change things for the average person?
Right.
And are there any potential downsides we should be aware of?
Of course. All good questions.
That's what we'll delve into when we come back for part 3.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive.
We're back.
We've spent the last 2 parts just like digging into the technical details of Learn by Interact,
Yeah, a lot of technical stuff.
but I kind of want to shift gears a bit.
Okay, yeah. Where do you want to go?
Well, we've established that like this framework is pretty effective
Mm-hmm.
at helping these LLM agents learn and adapt,
Yeah.
but I want to talk about the so what factor?
Right, yeah. The big picture. How could this technology actually impact the everyday lives of, like, regular people, you know?
Well, think about how much of our lives are already like intertwined with these digital environments.
Oh, yeah.
From online banking to like scheduling appointments to shopping for just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
We rely on these systems constantly.
Right.
And most of us have probably experienced those like frustrations that come with these systems.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it's like a clunky website or a chatbot that just doesn't get it.
Oh, yeah. Those are the worst.
Learn by Interact could change all of that.
Really?
Yeah, imagine a world where Like the AI systems we interact with
Uh-huh.
are constantly learning and adapting,
Okay.
becoming more intuitive and user-friendly over time.
That'd be amazing.
Right? So instead of like tearing your hair out trying to navigate a complicated website,
Right.
we could have AI agents that just guide us through the process smoothly and efficiently.
I mean, that sounds like a dream.
Right.
Yeah.
Or imagine customer service chatbots that actually understand our problems and provide helpful solutions
Okay.
instead of just giving us those like canned responses.
Yeah, like those are so annoying.
Yeah, it sounds like we're talking about a future where technology is less frustrating
Yeah.
and more aligned with our needs.
I like it.
But it's not just about making like existing systems better.
Mm-hmm.
Learn by interact could also lead to the development of entirely new applications that we haven't even thought of yet.
Wow. What are some of the possibilities that come to mind for you?
Well, for one, think about like the potential for personalized education.
Okay.
We already have online learning platforms and stuff,
Yeah.
but imagine AI tutors
Okay.
that can adapt to each student's learning style,
Uh-huh.
provide personalized feedback,
Okay.
and even like adjust the curriculum based on their progress.
That's wild.
It's like having a private tutor
Right.
available to like anyone with an internet connection.
Yeah, that would be huge.
And it's not just about education. Learn by Interact could revolutionize healthcare, finance, transportation.
Wow.
Really any industry where AI can play a role.
This is starting to feel like one of those, like, the future is now moments.
It is really exciting.
But even though it's exciting, I know there are always, like, potential downsides to consider with any new technology.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's important to proceed with caution and be mindful of the potential risks
Yeah.
as we develop and deploy these LLM agents.
Right. And one thing that's often brought up with AI is, like, the potential for job displacement.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
As these LLM agents become more capable,
Uh-huh.
they might automate tasks that are currently done by humans.
Right.
But it's important to remember that, like, throughout history,
Yeah.
technological advancements have often created new jobs,
That's true.
even as they displaced others.
Okay, so instead of viewing it as, like, a zero-sum game,
Right.
we need to focus on, like, how to adapt and prepare for this, like, changing job market.
Exactly. We need to invest in education and training programs that equip people with the skills they need
Yeah.
to thrive in a world where AI is like increasingly prevalent.
Makes sense. Another concern is the potential for these LLM agents to be misused,
Yeah.
whether intentionally or unintentionally.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
It's crucial to establish ethical guidelines and safeguards to ensure that these agents are used responsibly and for the benefit of society as a whole.
And that requires, like, ongoing conversations and collaborations.
Yes, definitely.
Among researchers, policymakers, and the public.
We need to be proactive in addressing these challenges to ensure that this powerful technology is used for good.
This deep dive has been eye-opening for me.
It has.
I went from what is an LLM agent to, wow, this could change everything.
It's definitely a rapidly evolving field with the potential to transform our world in really profound ways.
And for our listeners who want to learn more,
Yeah.
highly recommend checking out the research paper we've been referencing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's called Learn by Interact, a data-centric framework for self-adaptive agents in realistic environments.
Catchy title.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit technical, but it provides a fascinating glimpse into the future of AI.
It's a must-read for anyone who's serious about understanding, like, the cutting edge of this technology.
And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive
Okay.
into the world of LLM agents and the Learn by Interact framework.
Sad to see it go.
I know.
Oh,
We hope you found this exploration as insightful and thought-provoking as we have.
absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.